The most important question I got was, what is your legacy? Not a material legacy, but if life stops now, how do you want to be remembered? What is your frequency legacy? The Phoenix Frequency podcasts are results from that question. When all seemed burnt in your life, the fertile ash of a phoenix is filled with compassion, love, forgiveness, empowerment, intuition, wisdom, generosity, creativity, resilience, a balance of an evolution and involution, what is needed to rise. I am Nienke van Bezooyen and I live my Phoenix frequencies. On a weekly basis, I share my insights, my resources, and I have guests who Phoenix themselves. If it resonates to you, you're welcome to rise. Welcome to the Phoenix Frequencies, and today I have a special guest. So I have with me Susanna Kalejian. Welcome.
Thank you.
So how we met, just for the listeners, is a couple of weeks ago, we were on the Heartmath Professionals call, and that's an international call, and that's where we connected on the chat, and it was a peace building call. Susanna, you messaged me and said, oh yeah, I'm very interested what you do. So we scheduled a Zoom meeting. We found out that our lives had been very, very aligned in total different paths. And I recognize within you a phoenix. So that's why I invited you to be on this podcast series. And luckily you said yes.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here today with you.
So Susanna, can you describe your life frequencies?
So, as a young mom, I was always in fight or flight mode, trying to multitask by balancing work, school, and family life. And it really felt like the weight of the world was on my shoulders. As a woman in Armenian tradition, you are expected to do everything. For instance, cooking, cleaning, taking care of the kids, and then some. And everything needs to be perfect as expected. But when you add school and work, this is where a lot of the pressure stems from.
So you're trying to fix into a mold of expectations, wasn't it?
You can say that, yes.
Yeah. How was your life before your Phoenix? Because things happened. We will cover that later. But how was your life before your Phoenix?
So, when I was 22, I entered motherhood. And by the age of 25, I was already a mother of two, leading a very, very chaotic lifestyle. And didn't realize it until it really caught up with me.
There's a lot on your plate. And if you look back now, did you have any, so to quote, warning sign that things were coming your way? If you look back now?
Yes, actually, I had many warning signs. For example, I had chronic fatigue, back pain, I had migraines, and severe depression. But I never really realized at the time that I may have something serious until I was diagnosed with endometriosis and I was facing a life-altering surgery. Never realized that.
So endometriosis, that's having a big impact in your life, isn't it?
Yes, it did.
So what happened after the diagnosis?
Well, first I had total hysterectomy, being forced into premature menopause. I had no idea what was yet to come. And only 2 months after my surgery, I lost my grandmother. Now, on top of everything else, I was heartbroken again. And just as I thought that things were going to get better, the bank foreclosed on us. We ended up losing our house too. So as you can see, I had 3 major consecutive losses back to back.
Piling up. I can see that's piling up. And how did you respond to that all?
Forced into premature menopause at the age of 32, I was not prepared emotionally, physically, or mentally. It was a disaster.
Yeah, but I think at the age of 32 in menopause, it's really all the hormones that are freed up. That's a challenge itself. And if you have other things piling up, it's really a big thing. So how was what happened life-changing for you, apart from the menopause? What was the whole stirring up thing apart from that?
Oh, as I reflect, my life became just gray and meaningless at that time, living in constant fight or flight mode. I was so exhausted that I retreated from the world and just became numb. The emotional pain was so deep that I could only think of one thing. It was suicide. I became suicidal, literally.
Mm.
That was the darkest time of my life. As I reflect back, I used to wake up at 3 a.m. and weep because it felt like someone had stolen, just, torn and stolen my body parts. And I just didn't feel complete anymore.
They had to do surgery and took your core femininity out of you at that time, and all the hormones released, as I say. As a former nurse, I can tell you. So what changed? What phoenixed, or what do you do differently now? Because this was a heavy thing. I can see you now. That's not the case any longer, isn't it?
Yes. So, having to cope with the emotional and mental side of my premature menopause was one of the biggest challenges in my life. Facing an uphill battle, I immersed myself in self-teachings, researching, and seeking for answers. I had to. I had kids, I had family who loved and cared for me. For them, I had to. And shortly after, I started to regain my hope and started to believe that this was not the end of it, but rather the birth of something beautiful that was actually blossoming.
When you really feel everything is gray and there's nothing out, but you phoenix yourself out and you could see your life as something meaningful. That's beautiful. Is there still anything from that past that can trigger you?
Well, it's an ongoing evolution and growth, but for the most part, I've coached myself to live a more conscious life, and my life has changed 180 degrees throughout these years. I no longer identify myself in that space.
Well, I think if you look back in trauma, the trauma was then, it's never a continuous trauma all at the same time. You grow out of it. And if you can feel the growth, that's the difference. Are there any after effects? Is there anything what's there?
Memories, yes.
Mm.
The fact that I had to go through menopause way before my time, and I didn't know what to expect. When I look back, the memories, I think that's what is left. But I was able to find my way out of it into the light, and that's what I want to highlight here.
There's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in, Leonard Cohen says. That's the whole point. What are the most significant benefits of the Phoenix event in your life? What would you describe there?
Well, I was able to find a profound way to overcome my own suffering, heal myself, and find my life purpose through my journey of self-discovery. I started to actually see the colors and the beauty of life again, and finally understood that going through the hills and the valleys of our lives is a journey that is so unique to every soul. And I was no longer the victim, but the creator of my life.
Wow, I like that. I like that you grew out of your victimhood and shifted into the creator. I just love that. If you have any advice or inspiration for the people listening to these podcast series, is there anything you would like to share, or for the people who are in the ashes themselves now? Is there anything what you want to give to them?
Yes, actually, my advice for people who are stuck or looking for answers is to reflect on their life and to realize that whatever they are experiencing at the present moment is the outcome of their own creation. If they are not happy, they can create a new reality. Every single day comes with new opportunities, and the chance to start over again and to create something meaningful is there. It's important to understand that instead of looking outside for answers, they need to look inside. And I'm also a firm believer that investing in yourself is the greatest gift you can give to yourself.
I totally agree. And what I like so much in your share is that as a creator and no longer a victim, you're really there to start within. You know, that's that inner journey to outer impact. But it
Hmm.
has to start with you, and you can't outsource it, as I shared it in other podcasts. You can't outsource your own growth,
Yeah.
nor
Hmm.
expect others to save you, because no one can be rescued. You have
Yeah,
to do it from within.
exactly. And when I look back at people, just in general, people like to blame and pinpoint others for their problems. And that's very unfortunate because this comes with realization. Once you realize that you are the creator truly in every way, every aspect of your reality, that's when you stop blaming others. That's when you stop just pointing fingers to others and you just look inside because the answers are there. And there is a reason why we have issues as in limitations, problems in our lives, because we each have a journey. And when we are walking on the wrong side of the path, the universe or life, whichever you want to call it, is always guiding us to the right direction. And sometimes we need to make a U-turn instead of blaming others. But for that, again, you need to look inside.
Yeah, you're the driver of your own car. That's the difference. So that's really beautiful. Is there anything else you want to add, share, or cover?
Now, I've realized that deep down, I really want to bring people together, like I said, especially those rooted in cultural differences. And I realized that deep down, our shared DNA might show us just how connected we truly are. I firmly believe that by embracing this principle of opening our hearts to one another, we can initiate a powerful transformation. And it starts with each of us taking the courageous step to open our own hearts, trusting that this act of vulnerability will resonate and inspire others to do the same. And through this journey of self discovery and connection, I envision a world where compassion and understanding triumph over fear and division.
I can see that vision, and I can see you bringing people together. If we all do our inner journey, I think that's paving that path for creating hope and being open to receive what's needed to come somewhere together. You, with your Armenian background and understanding and your self-development, the ongoing learning, I can see you bring a lot to this world, darling.
Yeah.
Anything else, or shall we wrap up and encourage people there to rise as a creator?
Well, I just want to say thank you for this opportunity. I just hope that more and more people will start to open their hearts and look inside and create that ripple effect. Because when we grow, our energy expands. When our energy expands, it touches others. And, I want this to multiply in hundredfolds.
I'm with you. So end up with that. Just ripple it out because we can from the heart. Thank you for being with me. To be continued.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.